So everybody who's watching, this is our first fucking episode. This is Geeked Out or Geek Out, whatever you want to call it. And basically, we talk about everything. We talk about video games. We talk about music. We talk about wrestling. We talk about our own creativity. Anything that you want to talk about, we do it inside here. So it's like if you guys got a topic, all you got to do is go down in the comments and just tell us exactly what you feel, and we'll comment on it. But anyway, it's a crazy ass time. How y'all boys doing? How's everything?
Doing good, man. Chilling.
Yo, that's
Living
crazy.
day by day. You know how it is.
It's an everyday struggle out here.
Yeah, man. Not doing much, man. Just trying to stay healthy, bro, right now, man.
Everybody's stuck indoors, man. It's a fucking struggle.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm doing the same, just living.
Yeah.
We're all like, if you ask, like, how's everyone doing at this point? It's all the same answers, unless you're like,
Yeah.
Yes, everybody is literally trying to make it day by day, man.
Yes.
But that just means that we gotta play a lot of video games, watch a lot of porn. And so you can do.
Is there a rating for this thing? How?
I don't know. This is definitely not going on like YouTube for kids. I can tell you that.
What's your favorite porn you guys been watching lately?
What's my favorite porn? Yo,
it's Holy Month, man. I ain't watching shit. It's Holy Month for me, man. I ain't watching shit.
We'll do the other topic. What's your favorite games you've been playing lately?
Domination. Anyway, let's first of all before we get into that, let's introduce ourselves because people don't know who the fuck we are. People gonna watch this shit be like, who the fuck are these three people that are talking right here?
Our names are right there, man.
Yeah, but they're gonna be like, why are these niggas relevant? Why do we care what they think?
We're not though. That's the thing. Are we?
We're going to be.
We're going to
think
one
big.
day.
We gotta think big, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So my name is Josh Sander, aka Remy, aka Nersha, and I make music, and I definitely am here to give like that musical element to everything. But I love video games too, and yeah, man, like I just feel like I'm from Inwood. I'm from Long Island. What's up, everybody else? If you know me, you know me. If you don't know me, you're gonna get to know me. And that's what it is.
Good intro, man.
My boy.
Yeah, Zeke, go ahead.
All right, my name's Zeke. You could call me Zeke. That's fine. That's good enough. I'm also musical. Musical Zeke. Queens boy, represent.
Yeah, represent that Queens, nigga.
Yeah, man. I'm kind of like the third person in here. I just I moderate because I don't know shit about anything, so I'm just here.
And he also in a band called All in Due Time.
Yeah, plug all your shit properly.
Fire, nigga.
Plug all your shit property. Yeah, check out All in Due Time. They're a great band.
Shit's amazing band.
No.
They're decent. Man. All right.
Decent band. I'm Maroof. I don't have any musical talent, unlike these two.
But he's making a story,
Online you'll find me on stuff like Wattpad as Mad Samurai, just writing random shit as stress and anxiety relief. And this is like the third time we're trying to do this podcast, so hopefully this time everything works out.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the one good thing about quarantine is that we got to be more creative, and hopefully that'll put us more on our shit when it comes to
definitely.
Making podcasts and stuff like that. Because we made a Kingdom Hearts one, but we're probably never going to put it out because it's like,
it's too late.
It's way too late.
So,
everyone's on a Final Fantasy 7.
Quick story about the journey to this thing. 3 years ago, I think, right, Zeke?
About 3 years ago.
3 different beta episodes. They were all shit. They were all in your in your bedroom with one mic.
Yeah.
And it was shit.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. I still have them.
Yeah.
I put them on SoundCloud. Some of them are there. I think I posted the first one.
They were edited. The first one was posted, and I think the other 2 were like just made, but were never edited. And then
I never got to them.
I think about a year and a half later, me and Josh did another beta episode, which was about Kingdom Hearts 3 because that game just came out and we both played it.
Yeah, we actually pretty much almost finished editing it, but then after that, at one point, it was just kind of like I forgot. Like life got in the way. It
was 6 hours.
Yeah, it was a lot of content. That was a lot of content.
What were we fucking thinking?
That was a lot of content. But then look, do you be seeing these shits like what people have for the Final Fantasy 7 discussions? They have one for every chapter is 3 hours. They break it down. Like I'm trying to get through it.
Insane,
I'm like, it's pretty ridiculous how much. Like now you can make a long ass podcast. People will listen if you have a interesting enough topic.
Yeah. So I think it's better that we start with a smaller podcast.
Well, yeah, we're gonna start small.
We have to establish,
Yeah, people gotta actually understand what our dynamic is and shit because we're not at that point yet. But
I think we should just talk about whatever comes to mind. Just bring up the topic.
So basically, so y'all been playing video. First of all, what kind of shit have you guys been playing? when it comes to video games, or just what have you been doing to keep your mind sane during the quarantine? That's a pretty good question.
I've been fucking playing Call of Duty, man. Warzone, that's my shit
Oh
right there.
shit, man! Call of
That's
Duty
my
wave, man. That's
Call
dope.
of Duty, bro. That's the wave right there. Warzone, man. Getting
Yo,
wins nonstop. You already know the deal.
I'll text people and figure out if that's true.
You said G capping for the podcast, man. You gotta do that shit.
Nonstop wins. I haven't lost.
You'd be like,
at
yo,
all.
got a fucking headshot, nigga. Fuck your vest.
I haven't been playing a lot of new games actually because I'm very busy still because of school and taking care of my mother who is sick.
Yeah,
Not corona. She just in general she is handicapped. But like I just finished recently Mystery Dungeon DX on Switch.
oh shit.
That
The
was a
original is
nostalgia
one of
trip.
my favorite games.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I love
it's a
that
good
game.
it's a good remaster. It's good. There's a lot of good quality of life changes.
Would you consider it more of a remaster? Or would you consider it more of like a remake where they like changed everything?
I'd say it's a remaster. It's an HD remaster done right. It's
That's
not
what's
like
up.
it's not like Resident Evil. Like remember Resident Evil on PS3, I think it was, and Xbox 360,
Yeah,
where they just took the original game and upped the resolution and just put that on, and they called it a remaster.
yeah.
This game is completely new art style and new music, redone music and everything. So
It's
I
kind of
call
like
it a good remaster.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like the Link's Awakening thing, like how
Yes,
with
yeah,
Link's
yeah.
Awakening they changed the art style and everything. Yeah, no, that's on point. I definitely want to buy that game.
So
Yeah,
for
or like
people like me that don't know anything about this game, can you explain the game? Like what's it
Oh,
about?
we're talking about basically if you play Pokemon, which you already know, usually play as the Pokemon trainer. But in this
Yeah.
kind of game, you're actually playing as the Pokemon. So
Okay.
like when we were kids, that was like, this nigga be like, you could actually play as the Pokemon, and the Pokemon are able to talk to each other. And Maroof can take it from there because it's been a while since I played it. But I know like they get lost.
So the concept, I'm gonna keep it like quick and concise, but like the concept is that you become a Pokemon and you try to figure out why you became a Pokemon in this world. And it's a really old game, 2003 I think came out, right, Josh?
Yeah, around 2003, 2000. It's definitely in the Ruby and Sapphire era.
Yeah, but the remaster kind of dropped out of nowhere, and because Nintendo does that where they drop games out of nowhere all the time and they take all of our money.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
They dropped that. I think that was the same day they announced the Pokemon DLC. They announced that shit because they were like, "Nigga, we want your money. We're not playing."
But it's a fun game. It's not for everyone because not everyone likes dungeon crawlers. It's an acquired taste. I'll admit that. Even I don't like dungeon crawlers that much, but it's a game I grew up with, so I give it a shot.
Yeah.
And yeah. Other than that, the only other thing I've been playing is watching Final Fantasy VII remake videos online.
Yeah, man.
Because I'm not getting the game. I made an oath that I'm not gonna get the game until like they have more parts out and I could play more.
Bro, you're not playing that game till 2030. I'm just letting you know.
I'm not.
Yo, man. I made the same oath, man.
It's also
I can't believe people are gonna do that. Like, you guys gotta realize it's a full fucking 40-hour game. They're not making a sequel anytime soon.
Trust me. I'm fully expecting myself to cave within the next year and buying it. But also it's that since this game is a remaster of like a 2001 game, and I played Final Fantasy VII 3 times, and I remember the story pretty well. I decided like, hey, I'll just wait and fun. Same thing for Xenoblade because I was talking to you guys how hyped I was about Xenoblade. But after talking to you guys with this whole situation, gotta save the money, man. But I want that game so bad.
Yeah, no.
The first game I'm buying when this thing is over is Xenoblade. I don't fucking care.
Yo, no, yeah, you got this, man. Like we cool. You definitely need to. That's one of your favorite games, bro.
Definitely all the time.
But
Josh, what about you?
This is tough.
I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. Like Animal Crossing. Like that has been saving my fucking life in this quarantine, dog. Like for real. And it's like that kind of game is a game you can get lost in because like we literally can't go outside. I've barely been outside in the last week. I only went out like once just to get like some groceries because I had to. So that game basically simulates you going outside. Like I hang out with people in Animal Crossing more than I hang out with niggas in real life. Like as a problem. I actually make money in Animal Crossing. I ain't making money in real life. Like it's a lot of issues.
Damn, man.
But it's a fun game.
Real.
I actually fucking beat like the game. You know what I'm saying? Because once you get KK Slider in your island, that's when the game is over. But obviously, Animal Crossing is a game you always play. You always can play for like a couple minutes each day, or like a couple hours.
Man, yeah.
So it's fun, man. It just takes my mind. It relieves the stress out of my life. So I enjoy games like that.
That's great, man.
Gotta be like hardcore shit. Sometimes I could just be on some mellow shit. But yeah, go ahead.
I don't know too much about the story, but I heard you're basically Tom Nook's slave.
Yeah, you're
and you're trying
just
to make and you're trying to make money by collecting oranges. And
yeah, you
shit,
be collecting
stuff like
oranges, but now this time you can build.
that. You can build this time,
Yes.
right?
So
Yeah,
the
amazing.
best way.
God
So
damn it.
I'm not big on Animal Crossing either, but I know the games enough to talk about it. Or like I played New Leaf a little, and that's about it.
Yeah, New Leaf was cool. I still have love for New
The
Leaf.
best way to explain it is that it's kind of The Sims mixed with Harvest Moon, mixed with like Tomodachi from back in the day, from the 90s, where you had the little pets where you take care of and like the little machines.
Yeah,
That's kind of what it is. It's very much a game where you have to play day by day, like few minutes, just to like, just do random shit here. It's very cathartic for a lot of people. And for some reason, it seems like the Switch version just blew up out of nowhere over the past.
No, people, New
Yeah.
Horizons, I'm seeing people who have never got like into Nintendo, never got into like Animal Crossing, are starting to buy a Switch just for the game. I would venture to say it's probably going to be one of the biggest games since Breath of the Wild.
Definitely, man.
Because people are just literally buying it for that game, and I'm like, wow, like for real.
Yeah, my friend bought it for that game, which is crazy.
It's fun. It's just fun. It just gets you into a like relaxed kind of mode. It lets you be social with people. You know what I mean, it's just I feel like they for some reason, I don't know if like Nintendo planned like COVID. These niggas actually like fucking playing some shit. That came out right
it's
time.
A perfect timing, man.
Like if you're like busy with life, like because that's what kind of happened with me lately. I've been, even though I'm still in quarantine, I'm just a little bit more busy, so I kind of had to put it away for a little bit. But I just came back. But when I had nothing to do, it was such a good game to just play and just like get lost in and not have to worry about real life. You could just like go into that world, and the world's just so fucking cute. It's cute. The thing is, it'll make you do things that you don't want to do in real life, but you'll do it because it's cute in the game. You know what I'm saying? So that's why. So Animal Crossing is definitely always a go-to. But Final Fantasy VII Remake, as soon as that came out, I was like, yo, everybody on my island literally just hit me up. They were like, yo, like, I haven't seen you in a week. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course you haven't seen me in a week. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII. So that's what I was doing. Nigga, I played that whole shit. And I'm gonna be real. I played on easy mode because I was trying to get to the story real quick. I gotta replay it again on medium and then one more time on hard. But that game is the shit. Now, a lot of people, that's going to be a whole different discussion. I want you guys to play it. I know Maroof has heard about it. I don't know. Zeke, have you even played the original Final Fantasy VII?
I played a few like missions, but I never beat it.
Okay, so I'm not gonna go into spoilers or details and shit.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's an old game. I basically know the whole story.
You think that's what you think until you play this shit? You'd be
I
like,
don't know the whole thing, but
I know Final Fantasy VII. I know it. Like, it's just a thing. No, nigga, this is a different fucking game. They take your expectations. They fuck your expectations super hard. Be like, man, dude, what you think? You really thought you knew this? We just fucked your bitch. Those are your expectations. We fucked them. That's what this game is, man. They really like people are pissed off about this game. I never seen more people more pissed off about a game in my life because people thought that they knew what this game was gonna be, and then they played it and they were like, "This is nothing like I expected." But I'm a Star Wars fan. I had to live with The Last Jedi. So
God, me too.
So I had to understand that sometimes what you want or what you think is gonna happen is not what's gonna happen. So I was ready for this shit. So I went inside of this shit with an open mind, and I'm okay with some of the changes. Do I have my issues and worries? Yes. And one day we'll have a Final Fantasy discussion. We'll discuss everything. Mm-hmm. But overall, I do think it was a good game, and I enjoyed it a lot. And Tifa.
Yeah. Tifa's the best. Let's get into the topic that we had for this first episode, which is the first 5 games that come to your mind when you think of a video game.
You guys,
I didn't make a list.
Order? Like you guys, like how about like I say one, then you say one, and you say one.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Sure.
I didn't make a list, so it's a little harder for me because I've been busy. I think
none of us made a list.
Have you guys?
I was going to it, then I totally forgot.
Well, the topic is first that comes to mind, so I guess it's fairly good. So we'll go 2 at a time. So Josh, give us 2, and then I'll give 2, and then Zeke will give 2, and then we'll go around.
Sure.
All right. The first game I think of when I think of gaming, honestly, which is I think this might be obvious for everybody, but you got to be Smash Brothers, because Smash Brothers, in my opinion, is like a celebration of gaming. Like at first it was a celebration of Nintendo, but then now you've got people like Solid Snake in there. You got like fucking you got Sonic in there. You have like Street Fighter. You have all of these like different like franchises in gaming that are known for just like they're different, like I don't know how they're different styles and they're different in attracting different fan bases and putting them together. And it doesn't matter if they're like for kids or kiddie, or if it's for like somebody that is like a mature audience and shit, somebody that would like something like Bayonetta. It doesn't matter. Like it has something for everybody. So when you play Smash, you can literally kind of like fuck with the entire roster, and you have somebody that's at one point you probably had an experience with, or you probably had a connection with. Like with me, when Cloud got announced, because I'm a big Final Fantasy guy, when he got announced, that was my moment where I was just like, bro, like he's in. Like, you know what I mean? And we all got a certain character that we connect with, and we went to be in Smash. So I think Smash is like that, just arena. And a lot of people have tried to do it. They made the PlayStation All-Stars, which wasn't a bad game, but it's like Smash though was like, you can't make another Smash. Smash is always going to be Smash and what it is, and it's always going to be that one kind of game where if you're with 2 or 3 of your friends, you're bored, you put on Smash and you play, and it's just always a good time. So yeah, Smash is definitely in my list. So that's the first one that comes to my mind. And second one, man, Mario 64. I don't know why. I just feel like Mario 64 is just like one of those games, man, that's just, it was magical. When people played it for the first time, to be honest, I keep it real with you guys. The first time I ever played Mario 64 was on the DS. I played the DS version with Yoshi, and after that, eventually you unlock Mario and Luigi and Wario, because I missed the 64 era. But like I played them later on. But going back on that shit and playing the original, I realized like that must have blew people's minds back in the day when you went from 2D Mario, from like Mario World, and not being able to play games in 3 dimensions, and then playing this game that like I don't even know how many years it's been. It's like 1996, right? So it's probably been like 30 years. Yeah. 30 years from that time. Like it still holds up. Like people still say to this day, like that's a better game than, some people say it's better than Sunshine. I personally like Sunshine a little bit more. Some people like Galaxy, and some people like 64 more than Galaxy. But the fact that a game that literally started the trend of 3D gaming could still live up in this day and age in 2020, that's pretty incredible to me. So I have to put Mario 64 in my top 5.
Okay.
I like that. Those are good answers.
Yeah, very good.
I appreciate it.
Maroof, you can go next if you want.
Okay, sure. So there's one game series that I know me and Josh are both gonna have on this list that I'm gonna wait for later, I guess to say. He knows what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with Pokemon Silver.
Oh god, that's the best one.
That is my first Pokemon game I ever played.
That was mine too.
Yeah, dude, I think we're all the same.
I'm lying though. My first one I ever actually played was Pokemon Pinball. That was the first game I ever played. I had the fucking shit because you had to get like the little battery. You put the battery in that shit and then it vibrated. And that was back when you first had the original Game Boy, that was the coolest shit. That shit was fucking cool.
I remember. It was
because
awesome.
no portable ever vibrated. Like even to this day, do we have like portables that vibrate? I can't even think because I know the DS.
There's a lot of portables that vibrate.
The Switch doesn't even vibrate.
No,
unless you have the Rumble.
Switch does. The Switch does.
The HC Rumble.
But yeah, but other than that, but that was just cool as fuck to actually play like something that was rumbling. I was like, this is some next shit. When I was a kid, I was like 5.
Yeah,
I had that.
I'm sure the girls liked it too.
Yeah. Yo, 5-year-old me.
So, Pokemon Silver, because that was the first one I played, and that is still, in my opinion, the best generation. Generation 2.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I think Generation 5 is a close second to me, Generation 2, for me, it was the most I was into Pokemon as a kid, even like being a lifer of Pokemon, being a lifetime fan. And the series, and I also have a connection to that game because I never finished the original Pokemon Silver cartridge. When I was about 6 or 7, I was playing my brother's cartridge of it, and I think I got to the 7th gym, and we moved. And I lost the cartridge in our old house. And it wasn't until like 2 years later when I bought Pokemon Crystal when I finally got to finish Gen 2. So I feel like I have that catharsis of finally beating that generation 2 in my mind. I love that game so much. And then playing Heart Gold and Soul Silver years later, even more so, it made me love that generation more.
That's what I call a good ass remake. That's a good
definitely. And my second game when I think of gaming, actually, it's something I don't think you guys would expect this, but for me, it's GTA 5.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you guys would expect this from me.
Yeah, yes. I'm surprised actually, but GTA honestly deserves to be on a game.
Now, hear me out for this, because GTA 5 is actually the second GTA I played, like as in I finished. because I've been playing GTA a lot as the years, but I never really finished the games. I don't think a lot of people have because most of them just fuck around in them.
Yeah, me too.
GTA 4 was the first one I finished, and it was a good game. It was New York, so Queens boy.
It's my favorite one.
Yeah, no, that was. Cool.
I told Zeke the other day that I found where my house would be in GTA 4, which is fucking insane.
That's dope.
And you could do that. Yeah.
I can't do that because I'm from Long Island, but it's a struggle, man.
GTA 5 had me invested. Like, I'm a big story buff, obviously, because I wrote and shit. I write and shit. So GTA 5 was the first GTA that had me invested in the story, with every character making sense and every character having, motivations that made sense. So they weren't just like a thug just because that's how they are.
But I just want to add to that because like I like GTA 5 quite a bit myself. You know what I mean? Like, but what I like about that game so much, and I feel like even games these days like people they do the open world thing, which is great. But what I think GTA 5 does, it makes it feel like it's lived in. It makes it feel like there's all these little fucking details and shit where you're going. But like, I just wanted to put that because I just popped in my head. But yeah.
It's because the three characters you play as, they will always be doing something, and whenever you change them, you're gonna find them in different places. And it just as a high schooler, when I played that, when I was like fucking 16, I was amazed, man. I was in awe of that kind of world, that on ever constantly moving world in the video game. You don't get that a lot, and even these days you don't get that a lot.
Like I think
Breath of the Wild did that really well, where they had a thing, and I think Spider-Man 2 kind of did that too back in the day. Not like to the extent, obviously, but Spider-Man 2 back in the day really had that kind of ever things happening world.
I think what Spider-Man 2 did is, even if it didn't do it as well as GTA 5 ended up doing it, it gave us as a kid, it made us feel like it. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I really admire about older games is they do a lot to make you feel like something is, even if they don't have the technology to do it yet, they make you feel like, okay, this is the world you're in. And you have to use your imagination a little bit. Because I'm actually going back and I'm playing some of the older Final Fantasy, like the PSX Final Fantasy. I'm playing Final Fantasy 8 right now. And it surprises me like how much, it would be cool to have a remake, but it's surprising me how much depth they put into it and how much detail they put into a game that literally came out when I had to be like 4 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like it's insane because the hardware, they literally is like 32 megabytes for like a PSX game. So it kind of shows you with a game like Spider-Man 2, with those kind of games, they had the ideas of what we're getting now, but it's just they didn't have the technology. But I think that now we have the reverse, where it's like we have the technology, but I feel like people don't have the ideas like they used to, where they like really want to push the bar. So when you do get something like a Breath of the Wild, when you do get something like a GTA 5, you gotta relish that. You know what I'm saying? Even I'm not a big Witcher 3, but I know the Witcher 3 did that for a lot of people too. It's like just modern, but they take ideas that we all wanted to see when we were younger and flesh them out because now we actually have the technology to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course,
that's a great choice.
I want to add to that a little bit. God damn it, what was I gonna say? No, it's to your point that they didn't have the technology, but I think what's going on is that now games cost a lot more to make, so a lot of corporations and businesses are like they focus on money and budget. It's like, okay, we need to have it done by this time, so they make the workers crunch and work extra hours, and the quality isn't there. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. Like there was actually this thing, I saw this one forum some months ago on gaming forums and stuff, just like here, and people were talking about, remember when people used to make like shitty ass games, like how now we have a bunch of shitty apps on the App Store. People used to put out stuff like Ed, Edd n Eddy game was good, but people used to make like a game for whatever show there was a game. Like they would be like Powerpuff Girls, they'd be like 3 Powerpuff Girl games. There'd be like fucking Courage the Cowardly Dog, the game. SpongeBob, there was like 3 SpongeBob. Like some of them were good, don't get me wrong.
Some of the SpongeBob games are fucking fantastic, man.
The SpongeBob ones were good. The Ed, Edd n Eddy ones were good. But there were some like shitty ones. I can't think of the shitty ones, right? Oh, the E.T. game. That shit was trash.
Oh, the E.T. game.
Trash, yeah. They would just literally take a game, like a show or a movie, and they would slap it onto like a game and be like, and just put it out. And it didn't matter what it was. People would call it shovelware. That's what they would call it. Yeah. But I feel like now
I'd rather have that though.
But now in this day and age, I feel like they can't do it because it costs too much money. Like in order to do that, you have to buy the license of the thing. So let's say I want to make a Game of Thrones game, right? I would have to pay the people who make Game of Thrones, and then I got to pay the company who's producing the game, like the developers, and then I would be able to put out the game. And they don't want to do that because the cost of making a game is so much more expensive than back in the day when it was like, just a little bit because it was very cheap. Now it's like it costs like billions of dollars to make it. So not only you're gonna pay to make a game, but then you also gotta pay for that license on top of it. It's like, nah, like why are we gonna spend all that money when we're not gonna make that return back? And that's why you don't see it. like I don't know, a movie that would come out like Onward or like Frozen 2. That's why you don't see like a Frozen 2 the video game anymore. Like in the 2000s, you would have saw a Frozen 2 the video game. But now you don't see that shit because it's too expensive to make games. So in a way, it's good because some of the trash like that, like it can't be in there. They have to focus on that. But in another way, it's kind of like, I think it's very, like as Zeke said, it's very focused on numbers. They're focused on, okay, we paid a lot of money to make this game. We got to get the return back. It doesn't matter about creativity as much.
Zeke, give us 2 games you think of when you think of video games, and
two of my favorite games from the past. I'm gonna keep it a little bit modern. I think Rock Band 2 because it had a big impact. It had a huge impact on my life, man.
I'm so surprised that Rock Band they phased out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they stopped.
I think the company went under, right?
Yeah. Well, why? Like I feel like it just stopped getting popular. Like, because I remember it was so big at one point they made like a South Park episode about it and shit.
Yeah, Harmonix is the company, I think.
They need to make a revival of that shit.
We didn't do research, man. People. Don't fuck.
Yeah. If you know, tell us in the comments, yo.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it's Harmonix. So Harmonix did a DJ Hero. They did all the Rock Band games.
Oh, I had DJ Hero as a kid.
Rocksmith, all that shit. But Rock Band 2 for sure was my favorite because that's like my entry point to all the music I love today. You know.
Yeah.
My cousins had it, and they were playing stuff like Paramore and Green Day on there, and I was like, "Yo, this is awesome! I never heard music like this before," and that just sparked my brain, you know. And I saw the instruments, the drums, because Guitar Hero only had guitar, you know, but Rock Band had like the drums, the mic, everything. So
yeah, it made you feel like you were part of it, man. I was always a singer.
I always wanted to do the drums, but we had a designated drummer, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I guess I'll do guitar." But I guess it worked out.
That's such a good.
I do guitar. Yeah.
I just one thing. I know, like we're keeping it concise, but I just want to make this out. Like I feel like that era with like Rock Band, which I think was like 20. When was that? I think 2005. I think it was 2005, 2007, right?
Yeah, around there.
That was the same time that we made that big ass explosion, and I don't think people really make that connection. But I do think that time was a good time where, like, if you were having a party, like you could play Rock Band. Like I remember every time I had a party, I was chilling with my boys. I was like, let's pull out Rock Band. Let's pull out like Wii Sports. Let's pull out like that time was a great time where like you could play games together, like in the same space.
Yep.
I think the games kind of switched off like around like the new like in the 2010s and late and now the 2020s. Like it's more focused on online gaming. So it's kind of like that's an interesting topic that we can maybe one day go into. Like how they went from like people actually going to each other and interacting with each other to like now having to switch to online and like playing on like parties and stuff like that. But anyway.
Exactly, man. I love those interactive games like that, like Rock Band. But funny enough that you mentioned it, like around that time, 2005, also Modern Warfare 2 came out.
Oh yeah,
there you go. The one Call of Duty game that everyone played, even the ones people that hate Call of Duty played.
Yeah, exactly. I hate Call of Duty, but I played that shit.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, that game was my life back in the day, man. The amount of shit talking, it's that one and
that's notorious for the shit talking.
And this other game, I'll put it later in the list. You'll see. But Modern Warfare 2, man, the hours I have in the game, the amount of shit talking I did, the memories, man, it's so much shit. But yeah, those are my 2, man.
You can really tell how much a game means to you if you shit talk it while playing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You could tell, and I think the community on like Modern Warfare 2, like to this day, people still remember that game and have really good memories of it. Like I never had the original Xbox. It was me. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2 was on 360, right? My ship.
It was on 360, PlayStation 3, and yeah.
Oh yeah, so I think I had it on the on the 360. So I played it here and there, but I'm trash at shooters. But I just like that whole community. Like I felt like when you were on there, you actually had a bond. Like so there's people who became friends off of that game, and that's another thing. That's another topic.
Yeah, definitely.
About. It's like people
course,
who
man.
literally become friends and meet each other through gaming, which is a beautiful thing. You know, people 10 years down the line, I heard like this one story. These people like became friends, and like now he was like his best man at his wedding and stuff. And they met through like a Xbox lobby. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, yeah, man.
Stuff, man.
It's like in general, it works with everyone because like me and you, Josh, we bonded over GameCube.
Yeah. It's like even though we met in person, like I think the reason why I like really like connected with Maroof in the beginning out of all of it, because I met a bunch of people at once. The reason why I connect, we just were talking about GameCube, and GameCube is like I feel like if you understand GameCube, it's like you're a certain type of Nintendo fan. Like because certain people they just skip, they go from 64 to the Wii because they don't want to like go into the GameCube because GameCube was like one of the dark days until the Wii. Can
I say something about GameCube, bro? GameCube,
go ahead.
I fucking love GameCube, man.
Yeah, man.
I think it was underrated. I absolutely love GameCube.
Can we just change this to a GameCube appreciation?
No, we gotta keep it in mind.
We'll keep it.
We're gonna do a GameCube episode.
We will. That's something.
Between the three of us,
now I'm starting to regret selling my games, bro. Man.
For real, me too, man. GameCube and PlayStation 2, man. PlayStation 2 and GameCube.
Yeah.
I think that probably was the best era of game. No, that's enough. See, I'm right now. I'm gonna go when I'm editing this.
Just
shit.
jot it down.
I'll write down all this stuff because the best generation of gaming. That would be a good ass topic. Like, which generation was the best?
Yes, sir.
But
good topic again.
Yeah.
But fuck. Let's stick to the topic. I'll go. I'll do my next. Unless you got anything else to say about.
Zeke, go ahead. Anything else?
No, I just for Modern Warfare 2, the lobbies were like the best part because if a squeaky kid came in with like a really squeaky voice, we all fucking attack him. It's like, shut up, you fucking 6-year-old. That's why I effed your mom last night. And then somebody else comes in. It's like, yeah, I was next. I came in after him. And then now those two people are
I have a question.
Do
you think that Modern Warfare 2 could work in like today's society where like everybody's more like censored and can't say as much, like it's cancel culture and shit? Do you think like a game like that would be able to work? Or
of course it can. Modern Warfare, the remastered one, not the remastered, the one we have now, 2019.
Yeah, they just made like I know they made a new one, a remake or something.
Yeah, the one I'm playing now with Warzone and all that stuff. That one originally, when people like first started playing the game, a lot of people did game chat in Modern Warfare, which doesn't happen in any Call of Duty because people usually stick to their parties, like Xbox party, PSN party, whatever Windows has. But now a lot of people are in game chat talking a lot of garbage, and it's great. It's great. Even now, if you go to a game, people are just like trash. It's the best. And there's this 2v2 thing where you could verse each other like 2v2. Me and my boy George. Shout out to George 2v2s.
Yeah,
we're talking the most garbage, man. I'm telling you much.
I respect that in that one place it's like your safe space where it don't matter what kind of shit you talk, everybody knows it's all fun and games because it's Call of Duty, man. That's just what it is. That's always what Call of Duty is.
It's all fun and games until someone pulls up your address.
People gonna like fucking dox your house and shit. Be like, nah, don't fuck with me like that. All right, my next two. I might have to say another one that just pops into my mind. So I gotta say Kingdom Hearts because I would be like, if you look at my fucking room and all the Kingdom Hearts shit I got all over, it would be a disgrace for me not to say it. Now, what I want to say about Kingdom Hearts really quick is I discovered the series. I used to watch Disney Channel. Everybody did, I think. It's right. You guys?
Nah, man. Never.
Nah, yeah, man. Never. Y'all missed out on High School Musical, man. That's a classic.
I hate High School Musical.
That's my I loved it.
I hated it.
Man, we were forced to sing the shit we were forced to sing that in our chorus class. We had to sing the whole thing. So I know every song on there by heart. Anyway, going back to it. I used to watch Disney Channel and they used to have the commercials and they used to have like game talks or whatever where they would talk about the new Disney game and shit. And they were talking about whatchamacallit, Kingdom Hearts. And it was just cool as fuck because I was just seeing like this weird kid. He had a spiky hair and shit. And he was just going to all the Disney worlds and stuff. And as a kid, I was just like, shit, like I could go to Aladdin and I could fucking play like Hercules and stuff like that. Like that in my head, that blew my mind that they were basically taking all these Disney worlds and putting it into one game. So I was like, at that point, I don't even remember. I had to be like at least maybe 7 or 8, maybe 9. And I just remember like begging my mom. I was like, Mom, you gotta give me this game. Mom, I want this game for Christmas. I want this game. I was begging for that shit. But then I finally got it. And that was, I remember getting to Hollow Bastion. That was I think the part where like I really got up to, and I remember because I was trash. To this day, like one thing that you guys are gonna realize, I love video games, but I am pretty trash at most video games. I'm pretty trash. But I love video games though. So it's like if they got an easy mode, I'm gonna play the easy mode because I like the story, I like the shit. But I'm gonna be that like casual noob nigga that will fucking play that. But anyway, to go back, I was on I got to the part where we were at Hollow Bastion. That's when I started seeing the Final Fantasy characters, and you finally get to see like Squall, who was Leon at that point. You get to see Yuffie, you get to see Aerith, all those characters. And I think at that point is when the game kind of like made me feel like, wow, this is different. Like this isn't just a Disney game. This is like a game that's like has its own story that's putting different things. And mind you, like I said, I had no experience in Final Fantasy at that point. So I kind of thought all those characters, I thought they were just Kingdom Hearts characters at that point. So it was cool to see all these new kind of mature anime kind of characters. Because at that point, I also was kind of getting into anime with some Dragon Ball Z here and there. I was watching Toonami. So it was kind of cool to see like that kind of style mixed in with the Disney. And then with the whole fighting system and the whole like the Keyblade, the action RPG, where you mix the RPG elements, but you're actually running around. Like people don't really give Kingdom Hearts that credit, which I think that's one thing. If we ever do another Kingdom Hearts, we'll talk about the whole series in general. I don't think people give Kingdom Hearts enough credit that it's one of like the first really big like action RPGs where they really mix like action and fighting and dodging and jumping and platforming and putting that, mixing that with the RPG element. So it was like when you're playing a game like Final Fantasy 7 or 8 or whatever, it's like you do the whole waiting and active time, but it's that it really does make you feel like you're in the game. Like when you're dodging somebody and shit, it's like, damn, we're actually fighting. So it's like it's like I said, that game was a beautiful game, and it became a series that was just like, I think even Nomura kind of looks at Kingdom Hearts and is just like, what the fuck did I do? And then he looks at that shit, he's just like, nigga, like I was smoking some shit, because it really did, like every single game, I think they try to top themselves and do something really weird and different with each game, and it got to a point where like now it's not really about Disney as much, it's not really about Final Fantasy as much, it's really its own thing. And like I got invested in all the characters. I love Sora, like I love everything that he represents. Riku has become, when he first started, you thought he was like, oh, he was like this anti-hero kind of dude and shit, but he ended up having one of the best character arcs in like I would say all of gaming. Kairi, well, you know, she's but you know, and you had Aqua and stuff like that. You have some really good characters. People will complain a lot about Kingdom Hearts story, and yes, the story at some point is like, it doesn't make any sense. But if you are a good fan and you're the type of fan that really likes something and will put your effort into it, you will understand the story. So it's like, you know, they throw curveballs, but at the end of the day, the Kingdom Hearts is not about really trying to understand the story. It's about the characters and that feeling of just, man, I just kicked Sephiroth's ass, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm chilling on the beach and I'm eating like my fucking ice cream cones and I'm gonna go fuck somebody up with Donald Duck. Like that craziness, that wild shit, like that's Kingdom Hearts for you. So at the end of the day, that's one of my favorite fucking games ever.
Yep. And your fourth game?
My fourth game, damn. I feel like I gotta put a Zelda in there. But that's hard if I to say Ocarina of Time or Breath of the Wild.
You can say Zelda in general if you want.
I guess I'm gonna just say the Zelda series in general, and I think the reason why I like Zelda so much, because when I was a kid, which is the funny fact, because I'm a big Zelda fan, as you can see, the other thing that's all over my room is just Zelda shit. But when I was a kid, I didn't really like Zelda that much. I was a big Mario person, but Zelda wasn't my thing like that. Like I just was like, this is cool, but I wasn't fucking with it like that. It was the truth, like, but people used to like go on the magazines and they used to say all this shit about how like Zelda, like Ocarina of Time is the best game. People used to always put stuff about Wind Waker. They used to say a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I got older, that's when I started really appreciating Zelda, because I felt like Zelda's a game that you need like patience for in a way. Like you kind of like going through these dungeons, and it's like you have to use your brain in order to figure out like, how do I escape this dungeon? How do I do this in this kind of method? How do I get this weapon? Because every dungeon has its own weapon, and you have to figure out how to get that weapon, and then when you get that weapon, how to use that weapon in order to beat the dungeon. And once you really get into that formula of adventuring and then going into the dungeons and adventuring, you eventually get into like a cycle that becomes very addicting. Like when you play like Ocarina of Time, that's a very engrossing game. Like you could just sit there and play that for hours. So
it's like cocaine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's cocaine. It's cocaine the game, man. So but for me personally, like maybe it's just because that's like Zelda I have the most connection with. I would have to say Breath of the Wild is my number one Zelda, just because that was the Zelda I waited for. Like I remember watching all the clips of when Zelda was for the Wii U, and that we wanted it for the Wii U, and then it did come to the Wii U, but then the Switch came, and no one give a fuck about the Wii U version.
One day we're gonna upload your rap one day.
Yeah, for real, like, cause I made a whole Zelda rap back in the day. We were really excited for the Switch, man. Yeah. But yeah, like just to see it grow, and just to see it from that one little trailer where like people were literally in that trailer saying, "Oh, is Link a girl?" all the way to getting it on March 3rd. I'll never forget. March 3rd was the day I got my Switch, and just opening it up and playing it, and like literally getting engrossed in that world and all the changes. Like that game has balls. Like to really be like 40 years inside of a game series and be like, yo, I'm gonna change everything about this, and I don't care if people like it or not. We want to make something fresh and unique, and make something for the next generation, and make something that's gonna shake up not just Nintendo but all of gaming. Like that takes balls, and that's the kind of shit Zelda does, because Zelda has always been that franchise. When Zelda came out in the beginning, and when you had the original Zelda on the NES or NES, whatever you want to call it, that was the first Zelda of its kind. That was the first adventure game. Like there was adventures game, but that was the first one like Zelda. Then Ocarina came off, and yes, Mario 64 came out and was the first 3D game, but Ocarina of Time was the first big adventure game where you could like travel all over the place. And now it's like Zelda's supposed to be revolutionary. Zelda's supposed to be something that when you see a Zelda game, it's not supposed to be some boring shit where you're just like, oh, it's just another Zelda. No, you're supposed to get your mind fucking blown and be like, this is going to be the game of this whole generation. And that's exactly what Breath of the Wild did. It took those big expectations and topped that shit. So, of course, I just love the Zelda series. I love that what it represents in gaming. It represents that, gaming is not just this one little thing. It's not just this little box that we're going to stay in. We're just going to make the same game over and over. We're going to innovate. We're going to take things to the biggest level that we possibly can. That's what Zelda represents to me. So.
Okay. I can't really compete with the way Joshua explains his love for things. So.
Yeah. Me neither.
I'm just a very passionate person.
You guys can tell which one of us is the most like in tune when it comes to passion of gaming.
I'm just like that with everything. Don't get me started on feet. Nah, that's getting cut out.
So my next two, I'm gonna say it now just because Josh pretty much I can't beat the explanation. Kingdom Hearts is one of the ones that I was gonna say. So Kingdom Hearts is my number 3. This is not in any order, by the way. We're just taking off the cusp of our head. Kingdom Hearts 2 specifically, because I think that's the best version of it.
I do think it's better than the first one too.
Yes.
You know one thing that we can do? I'm sorry for interrupting, but it's another idea. Like we can all do like rankings of maybe our favorite game series, like which ones that we like the most, because that would be
definitely
Hearts. But go ahead.
Kingdom Hearts 2, because in my opinion it's the best one. It has the tightest gameplay. It has the most, I don't want to say easy to follow story because it's really not, but it has a story that makes sense the most, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
I think it's the most epic.
It's definitely the most epic. Yeah, definitely.
It just takes everything with Disney. Like you go to the Disney World both times, and then you also it's like there's way more meat to the Final Fantasy part to it.
Yeah.
And plus like the original, that's I think the moment where like they really went head first into the original story. Like they were like, man, this isn't just a crossover game. Like these characters could stand on their own 2 feet. And that's when they started making like, they really went like Chain of Memories was a start on that, but they really went full on there with Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. So I think it's like 1 part Disney, 1 part Kingdom Hearts, and 1 part Final Fantasy, which is like perfect. It's perfection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it had a benefit of being the first game that had its like pretty much the graphical update, and it had the gameplay update for it, because Kingdom Hearts 1, the original UI for it isn't that great if you go back and play it. The original, not the remastered versions, not the ones that are on the compilations. The original clunky controls were pretty bad, and Kingdom Hearts 2 really set the standard for the gameplay of the series.
100%.
And and I can't really say like Josh pretty much said everything about Kingdom Hearts at this point, so I can't really like add on to it.
You got me with the Xenoblade shit. I know it's coming.
I'm getting to that. No, okay. So the 4th game I'm thinking of off the top of my head actually is SmackDown vs. Raw 2007.
Oh yeah.
For the PS2. And
2007.
I wanted to put 2007.
That was a special game because I like Devontae even talks to me about that game sometimes. For some reason, that's a specialized game for wrestling.
So I was thinking about which wrestling game I want to talk about, especially because there's so many different wrestling games, so many different eras of wrestling games, from like the glory days of the PS2 SmackDown games to SmackDown vs. Raw to our shitty 2K versions where we get right now. I picked 2007 because honestly, I think I have the most familiarity with it. I've played it. I know for sure that that's the wrestling game that I played the most out of any game, any wrestling game. Because it was during my...
That's the one with John Cena and Batista and the cover, right? Or is that 2006?
No, that was 2006. 2007 is the one with Triple H on the cover. Triple H is in the middle, and then you have
okay.
John Cena, Tori Wilson, and a couple other people.
Gotcha.
2007, I spent the most hours on indefinitely in my high school years, just getting lost in every gameplay mode of that series. It was the pinnacle of the SmackDown vs. Raw series. I don't think there was any other SmackDown wrestling game as good as it's since. Wrestling game in general, since that's been that good. And I think it's had the most variety when it comes to creating a character. The story modes were fine, even though some of the stories didn't age well at all. But they're fine.
True.
The roster was amazing. This game, Here Comes the Pain, and maybe No Mercy. The rosters for those games were unmatched of the wrestlers that you could play as in those games. General Manager mode. I don't know how many hours I spent on GM mode by myself or with my family or a friend, just trying to book our own story. I'm a writer, man. I like booking a story. I like telling a story. I like creating characters. I like creating feuds. And just the amount of hours. 2007 had the most. It had a very restricted version of the GM mode. I think 2006 had the best GM mode, but I think it's still in terms of being a general manager, it's the most interactive experience. And I really wish they bring GM mode back soon. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Do you think they would ever make a remaster? That sounds actually so fun. I would play it.
They won't make a remaster, unfortunately.
Yeah, because it's
2K,
yearly kind of release.
If you're an NBA 2K fan or a W2K fan, you're in an abusive relationship with those sports.
Yeah, that sucks. Because I'm not really big on sports games, so it's
that they could do better games because they have done better games in the past, but they won't because money. They won't. It's money.
And it's every year they have to come up with another one. So I think that has to,
this year most wrestling fans know this by now, but this year they're skipping 2K20 for the reason because 2K21 because 2K20 was so poorly received that the company had to we're gonna take a year off.
That's smart though.
This could be its own episode of why that game was so bad and how to not do a video game. Pretty much the Cliff Notes version of that. There's a Cliff Notes version of that is that Ukes, which was the company that originally helped 2K make the games, had enough of burnout. They wanted to make an interesting game, and they didn't want to make the same game every year. 2K wasn't having that. Ukes was all right, we're leaving. We're taking our engine, and we're taking out pretty much everything we did in the game. Right. So that left Virtual Basement, or I think that's the name, Virtual Studio, something I forgot their name, but pretty much they had to make everything from scratch, and they had to do it in 8 months. And that was really it's its own story of
rushed as hell.
Yes. So my only hope right now for a good wrestling game this year is if by somehow, which I don't think it's going to happen, we're going to get a good AEW game this year, which is a new wrestling company that came out this last year. I don't think we're getting it this year, but that's my hope for getting a good wrestling game,
Yeah.
I was surprised when you said 2007. I mean, I'm not too surprised. I was expecting 2006 or 2008. Because 8 brought in ECW.
I do not like 2008 at all.
Really?
It's my least favorite of the SmackDown vs. Raw games.
That's very surprising. I kind of liked it. I liked it. It wasn't that bad.
I think it's an acquired. I think it's because people who played it a lot enjoy it. But I think just going from 07 to 88, my experience kind of died for it.
Yeah, I feel you. It's very different.
It's very different. Yeah.
I played all of them.
06 is definitely up there too. 06
is my favorite. I think it's just nostalgia.
Yeah, I don't blame you because 06 is fantastic. I think from 2002 to 2009, we had a really good period of wrestling games. So we're every year it was a fantastic wrestling game coming out.
I think that whole year, the early 2000s, till 2008, is the drop off of good games. Because all my games on this list are from early 2000 to 2008. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's starting to go through a renaissance a little bit, but it's there was a good
it's a very slow renaissance.
There was a dark period of gaming for a while. Honestly, when you really think about I think we really should try and do a podcast later where we break down every single generation of gaming. You know what I'm saying? Because it's I really do feel the PlayStation, the PlayStation 4 generation with PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Wii U. I really think that was one of the weakest generations. When you really think about it, it's pretty weak. Like, it had some good games, but it was like, compared to like the shit that we were getting, it was pretty weak. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but yeah, it would be cool to like break that shit down. But yeah,
of course,
So yeah, what's your next two, Zeke?
Zeke, go ahead.
So me, I like how you guys are very like single player based, which is I'm the complete opposite.
We're loners. We don't fuck with people.
We're introverts with anxiety, man. We don't play with people.
I have anxiety too, man. But I just love I'm very competitive, man. At everything. Super competitive.
Mario Kart might like be up there. So just thinking about
but I'm not good at those games. So.
I hear you.
We only have 5 games, man. I have some multiplayer games that I like, but we only have 5 games here.
Exactly. So I gotta figure out my last one.
Yeah.
But go shit too.
But yeah, I'm very into competitive multiplayer stuff. So like one of them is Halo 3.
Ooh.
I grew up on Halo 3.
Halo 3, man. Sorry for cutting off. But Halo 3 was Halo 3. I didn't have an Xbox growing up, but I had a 360. When Halo 3 came on, that was the one game where like I played a lot.
So you were like me. So you skipped Halo 1 and 2, and you just went straight to 3.
Yeah, because I didn't have an Xbox.
Yeah, same here. Like,
I skipped Halo 1 and 2 as well.
Could we just put in like something about gaming, like marketing and shit? Because I think Halo 3 had the best marketing of probably 100%. Man. Because like did you guys see that shit where it was like finish the fight and shit? That shit made me fucking want. I was like, nigga, I gotta get an Xbox. Because I'm not, to this day, I don't fuck with Xbox that much. Sorry, Z. Like I'm just not I'm probably a Nintendo person. Maroof's probably more the Sony guy, and you're the Xbox guy.
I'm the Xbox guy.
To the day, I like 360 is the only Xbox I've ever owned. But I remember that time. But yeah, I'm sorry. I just remember when that shit happened. I was just like, nigga, I have to go. I don't give a fuck. I'm getting that game because it hyped. And like, didn't remember they made like that live action commercial where they
the live actions are really good,
like Master Chief and shit. That shit was sold. I was sold. Like,
dude. Fuck? People say Call of Duty was like the infamous for shit talking, but nobody talk more shit than people in Halo, man. Let me tell you, teabagging was invented.
Oh yeah, yo, that's crazy,
dude. The teabag was it was so embarrassing. You couldn't lose in that game. You had to be good. If you weren't good, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, they would.
I was really bad at first, but I had to step my game up, and I became decent. Then I became really good, and God damn it, man! It's just they bullied you into being a good player.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that era where it was like I think that's where people really became like serious, quote unquote, serious gamers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And before, not to say that people weren't like serious before, but I think that's when it became mainstream to like, if you're gonna play a game, you gotta be good. You gotta be on your shit, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, we really got real competitive people and shit.
Of course, yeah. EA Sports became a thing. A lot of companies.
That's a whole nother topic too. Esports.
Yeah. Like Machinima was real big back then, man. Machinima.
Machinima. That was like 2007, 2008.
Yeah, man.
Oh my god, dude, you're giving me like, I'm telling you, man. Like when we do like the whole generations of gaming, going back to like that 2006 to 2008 kind of period,
bro.
But those are some good ass memories.
Those were the golden ages, man.
Those were. Yeah, go ahead.
Those were all my games, man. Rock Band 2, Modern Warfare 2, Halo 3. The next game I'm gonna mention, but all those games were in that era, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that era was the best era for me, and even the culture behind it, Machinima, and all these other channels. I can't remember, White Boy 7th Street.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
All these crazy little YouTube channels and stuff. YouTube was becoming a big thing too.
They used to put like the AMVs, but they used to put like the music in it, because back then like it wasn't like, oh, you can't use music in videos and shit.
Screw Attack was big, man. Screw Attack was big.
I love Screw Attack.
Death Battle.
Yeah, like they
epic rap battles of history.
Yeah, they would take certain things like different gameplay clips and put it with the music, whatever song. Like I used to listen to like Linkin Park and like Final Fantasy together. Like, that shit was just like my shit. We just have a bunch of clips on like Event Children with like I'm crawling in my skin. It was crazy.
Yep.
You can't do that anymore. You literally can't because you can't put music from other people without your video getting flagged. So
exactly, man. But those AMVs from with the music videos, I think most of them were Linkin Park songs.
Yeah.
And that's how I remember watching Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
With the Broly.
Yeah.
And the Linkin Park music in the background. It's like
what was the name of that song that they used for Broly's theme? I forgot.
In the End.
Not in the end. They used an actual like, I see. Now I got to go back and look this up now later. But
wait, they
Is it
actually
a
used a
Linkin
Linkin
Park
Park
song?
song for Burleson? And
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Man.
the one I
That's
watched was
wild.
In the End.
It might have been in the end. I don't remember which one it was, but there was like
I know Linkin Park did the stuff with Transformers. I didn't know that they actually did like a anime theme. That's really dope.
Yeah. No.
Fuck, man, so good. But back to Halo 3, man.
Unless you keep going on Halo, because I could talk about that game. That game was
Dude,
good.
I can talk about Halo forever, man. Me and my cousins, actually, now that I think about it, my cousins had a big impact on my gaming lifestyle. You know, Rock Band 2, what else did I say? Halo 3, Modern Warfare, they all introduced me into those games, you know? And those games really made me into the person I am now. You know, I really copied my personality a lot from those games, like my music style and everything. So those had a really big impact on me. But next game, I have to think about it a little bit. I said Halo 3, Assassin's Creed for sure.
Oh,
Assassin's
dude,
Creed.
I actually want to go back and play the original. How could
Assassin's
I do that?
Creed,
I just want to put that question out there. Like, how can I play the original? If I want to go back to the original Assassin's Creed, how could I do that in 2020? Because like I know that on the PlayStation 4 they have like Origins, but I don't know if that's the same thing.
My answer is don't play the original.
You said don't. You said it's dated as fuck.
They remastered the old ones. They're all remastered. So
are they on
play them
PS4?
back. I think so. I'm not too sure. I know Xbox has them, but I'm pretty sure.
I know Assassin's Creed 3 is definitely on Switch.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
because I just had this urge to kind of play some of the games I missed because if you guys don't know, Uncharted, you can get all the Uncharted games besides the fourth one. That's the new one. You can get all of them for free on PlayStation.
Okay.
And you don't even need PlayStation Plus. They're just giving it out because of Corona. They said that they want to give everybody a game so they could stay indoors and stuff like that. So they gave the original Uncharted. And I remember around that time and frame, like Uncharted was big as hell. Fucking Assassin's Creed was big as hell. Like it was all these like different series. And I was at that point, I had a little stage where I wasn't as into gaming as I was like when I was a kid. And now, like there was a phase where I just was like completely out of gaming, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do whatever, make music and shit. So after that, it was like that time frame. I kind of want to go back and play like Assassin's Creed because now they make an Assassin's Creed like every 2 years, and I want to get into it, but I just don't know like where to start because there's so many different ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, man, that series, I was addicted. I followed every storyline, every trailer, everything. I watched everything about it, man. But like I said, I'm a very competitive person. So the multiplayer, I don't know if you ever played the multiplayer in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, no, I haven't touched it yet. That's the reason why I want to like get into it because I really feel like that game just looks cool. Like it looks fucking cool to play.
Yeah, it's a very cool game, man. I love it. But I have to say, man, I think I'm trying to figure out which one was my favorite. Story-wise, I love the Ezio trilogy, obviously, because that's everyone's favorite. Ezio's trilogy. I think I really got into the multiplayer in Revelations, and Assassin's Creed 3 had the biggest impact on me because of the multiplayer. I played the multiplayer. I was really fucking good at the multiplayer.
For
when
me,
I'm telling you, no, go ahead, my bad.
No, you were talking. Go ahead.
That's good. For me, the multiplayer in Assassin's Creed, I felt untouchable because no one. It's like basically team deathmatch or whatever. I never died. I was a god.
I am a god.
You know what I'm saying? I was just so fucking good at the game, and then I just fucking loved it. And Black Flags came along, but this Valhalla game, which by the way, tomorrow, 8 p.m. Xbox. Having the premiere and they're showing the game in
I'm definitely gonna look that up, man. That game looks so fun.
Yeah, May 7th. You'll probably post this way after, but
yeah, definitely.
Definitely for sure. It's gonna come out like next month or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But
they're
doing the premiere gameplay tomorrow, and I can't wait, dude, because this is the first Assassin's Creed I've been excited for in a long time. And I'm pretty sure you guys, I know Maroof, you are. I don't know. How about you, Josh? How you feel about it? Are you excited for it?
This is my whole thing. Like I said, I know nothing about Assassin's Creed, but I'm really like interested into like where should I start? You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
should I go to the first game? Should I try and I'm gonna ask you guys that question actually. Like if you're somebody that's kind of interested in Assassin's Creed, but you it's your first game and you don't know nothing about the story or anything, where should you start? Like, what would be the best one for gameplay and story?
The best story I've experienced was the Assassin's Creed Ezio trilogy, right? Which is Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. That is continuous story with the same main character, right? If you want to play Assassin's Creed 2, you can start Assassin's Creed 2 if you want, if you don't mind the kind of dated gameplay. The gameplay is a little bit dated, so it might be a little bit hard to play compared to games that are current. But if you want kind of like a nice middle ground, I think Assassin's Creed 4 is the best one to go, because the gameplay there is really good, the story is pretty good, the character's really good.
That's the pirate one, Joe.
The pirate one, yeah. Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flags.
The
way Assassin's Creed goes is that one is kind of itself. It's like a self-contained story, but it's pretty much the first in the timeline, so it's important to it. Two, Brotherhood and Revelations was the Ezio trilogy. That's one main character. All three games have one continuous story. 3 and 4 have a story that's kind of together, even though it's not. It's like it's two different characters.
It's generational.
The characters are it's generational pretty much. There's a father and a son, and you play as them. And after that, I can't tell you that much about the story because that's about when I fell off. Yeah. So, but definitely check out the Ezio trilogy and 3 and 4. I'd say.
All right, so yeah, I'll definitely see what system those are on. But yeah, no, I want to check those out so I can get like the new one when it comes out. So the new one's only on Xbox or is also on PS4?
It's always on Xbox and PS4.
Consoles.
It's all
okay
consoles.
Then those. So like, yeah, I might pick up once I get caught up with the story at least enough. Then I'll probably get the new one so I can get like in the gameplay and stuff. But yeah, now that seems like an interesting game. Like I said,
I'm very jealous, man. I'm jealous.
Yeah, like I get to play for the first time. Yeah, like,
yeah, man.
I always am jealous with people like that.
Playing an old series for the first time is beautiful.
Oh, so
yeah,
good,
there's so many good series that like I kind of missed out on that I wish that I got to play. Like Uncharted, for example. Like Uncharted,
I just got Uncharted.
I just got it. I just got it on. Like I said, I think you might have missed it because you walked out. But Sony is doing like a free from home kind of thing because they know that like people want people to stay home. So like they're giving Uncharted the trilogy away for free. So I just downloaded that and I downloaded.
Get to that game, man. Get to that game.
So I'm just like I can't wait to give it a chance because everyone says, oh, this is like one of the best action adventure games. And around that time, I was like not that big into Sony. Like I said, I told Zeke I had a little phase where I just wasn't into gaming as much. And I think what brought me back was actually the 3DS. The 3DS was what brought me back into gaming. Because I was big with the Wii and stuff, and then I kind of fell off for a while, and then I went and came back with the 3DS. And then I didn't get a Wii U until very late. And after that, I got my Wii U, and then the next year I got a Switch. So I must have got my Wii in 2017 because the Switch came. Wait, no, the Switch came out in 2017 or 18.
The Switch 17. I think.
Yeah, so then I must have got my Wii. I must have got my Wii U in 2016, and I got my Switch in 2017. So yeah, but yeah, now I'm pretty big into gaming. I try and like at least follow everything that's going on. But
I try to too, but it's hard, man, when there's not a lot of good stuff coming out, man.
It really isn't though. And especially this time, it's just like I feel like because of Corona and COVID, certain games that were supposed to like, well, I'm in the same shit. But whatever.
Yeah.
But because everything that was going on with that, it's like I think a lot of the games that were supposed to come out are getting pushed to next year. You know what I mean? Because people to this day still want physical releases, and nobody's gonna go to the game store to buy something right now. You know what I mean?
I want Xenoblade physical so bad.
I'm still hitting myself, bro. I'm still hitting myself that I didn't buy Final Fantasy VII Remake physical because I just needed to play it right then and there. But now it's like, man, I want to get that shit physical because I saw somebody with the digital shit and it looks beautiful.
Maybe you could try to find the case and cover art.
Yeah, I might eventually do that just to have it because that's a special game to me. It's very.
I want to bounce back on something you said a while ago.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You said you weren't that good of a player.
Yeah, I don't consider myself that much of a competitive player or somebody like that. Like I respect for people who play competitive, but usually when I'm playing a game, I'm the one losing. I never be winning no games.
I have admiration for people who play video games really good. I'm an adequate player. There are some games I'm really good at. Some games I am dead awful at, mainly fighting games. I am horrible at them, but I love watching people play fighting games. I will watch so many Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat videos, but as soon as I play it, I will get wrecked.
And I have another thing that's like really fucked up with me. It's like sometimes I'll get to a certain place of a game and then I will not finish the game. I'll stay at that point and I just don't finish it. I'll watch the ending out, nigga. I'll watch the ending on YouTube. And as they I'm like, that's it. That's it. To this day, some of my favorite games I never beat. I have them, and I'm like, I played them, and I love those games. Like I'm pretty much, I could probably, for somebody who beat it, I probably know more about the ending than they do. But my nigga, I actually didn't fucking play it because I ain't trying to like do all that. You know what I mean?
I want to confess something. I actually broke Dark Souls because I got so mad at it.
Shit.
Yo, damn.
I broke the fucking disc. I took it out the disc screen and just broke it. Like, fuck this game.
One of the worst personages. Yeah, one of the worst personages I ever fucking made was Cuphead. I was like, that was a waste. That was $20 out the fucking drain. I got to the first level, nigga. I was done. I was like, I'm never.
Nigga pressed start and said no.
I was like, nope, not doing it. I wasted $20. I was like,
I actually did that with a game. A game I wasted $20 on was that game that everyone went crazy for. It's like very very arcade-ish, and it has like a character with horns, right?
Horns.
And it's kind of like text boxes.
Fuck, I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
Are you talking about Undertale?
Undertale, yeah. I bought Undertale. I never played it.
Oh, I like Undertale's fun. I actually got to the last level, and that's when I stopped. I was just like, so to this day, I'm like, I keep going to the last. But in a way,
Undertale.
It's kind of fun
Undertale
for me.
is a game that I played. My bad. Undertale is a game I played once, and even though they tell you to play it multiple times to get the full experience, I never played it again. I just looked up videos online for it.
Yeah, like, me too.
I like, but what's it called? What I was trying to say is, I got to that last level, and to this day, I still go to the thing and try and beat it, but I just can't beat it. Like I'm stuck on that. I'm almost tempted to like next time I hang out with Maroof and I have my Switch, I'll be like, bro, just finish this shit. I gotta think about my last game. So look. I know which one is coming to my mind. The only thing about it is just like which one is more impactful to me and which one's more personal for me. Because if you go for like personal, I kind of want to say The World Ends With You. Because I just feel like that game is so like underrated. And it's like a lot of people, like I bet a lot of people here haven't played it. Or some people probably have because now it got re-released on the Switch a couple years ago. But it's such a different kind of game. And if I was you and if whoever's listening or whatever, and they hear it and they think, oh, it's interesting, I would literally seek out a DS and play the original DS. I would not play the Switch version, even though that's probably a decent version. But what I love about the game is that it really takes gaming into a different level where it literally looks at the DS and everything that the DS is about, how unique of a system it is, and it bases a whole game about it. And basically, like this has been years since I played it, but you're basically this dude named Neku, and he fucking dies. You know what I'm saying? So you're basically in a spirit world and shit like that. You have to. This nigga's crying like he's not Neku, but he's in a spirit world and shit. This guy's very antisocial. He doesn't want to make any friends. He's like fuck everybody. But basically, in this game, in order to get back to the real world, you have to team up and play in this thing called the Reaper game. And he teams up with this girl named Shiki. And Shiki is a very sweet, bubbly kind of girl. And, you know, originally he fucking hates her because he's just like, yo, you're too bubbly and sweet and I don't fuck with it.
I'm emo, man. Listen to me.
You know? But overall, the game kind of, like, it's the whole message of it is about going from that kind of, like, side of not being open to people and not opening up to realizing, like, if that's you, then your world ends with you, but you need to open up and go to different people, find out different experiences. So the game is really about the characters and all these characters that you meet along the way and how he gets affected and emotionally bonds with these characters. But what I really love and what really keeps me going back to that game in my head, because I remember that game blew my fucking mind as a kid, is like the battle system, because it's like you're playing the DS and the DS has two screens. So you have like the top screen and you have the lower screen. And you would be playing as one character on the top screen, if you hear me, right? One character on the top screen and one character on the bottom screen. So you're like fucking frantically hitting the top one and the bottom at the same time, and it's like it's so fucking chaotic. To this day I've never played a game like that. And the whole point of it, and somebody broke this down for me, and I was just like, wow, this is fucking genius. it's supposed to be a metaphor for like relationships, because relationships, when you're like with a friend or somebody, sometimes your relationships are chaotic, they're hard, they're difficult. Two people, we're not like me and Zeke, we're not always gonna bond or see eye to eye on every little thing, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you'll be talking and it'll be chaotic, just like when you're playing the game. But when you get into the right move of things and you get the stream, because it's like there's a puck, it goes up and down. Like when you're in the bottom screen, sometimes you'll have the puck, other times they'll have the puck, it'll go up and down. And it's like once you get to the right synergy, the puck will keep going up and down, you'll get more and more points. And it's just like in a game, like when you start like kind of working together with that person, trying to understand them, and you start getting into a groove or a vibe with them, that's when you start really blossoming the friendship. And it's really like they use that DS system as a way to kind of be a metaphor for like friendship and shit, which I think is a really good idea. And you use these little things named pins and stuff like that, which I think are fucking cool. It's like a fashion element to it, so you can choose different pins and stuff. And it's you guys are totally distracted.
No, we're listening. We're listening.
No, we're listening. Yeah.
But you use these little things named pins and stuff like that, so you can like use a touch screen and shit. So it's like you can also use the microphone. So sometimes like you literally like blow into the DS and shit, so to use powers. You can do any like literally every feature of the DS is used in there. There's even a pin where you literally close your DS up. And yo, Zeke, you saw this, right? You close your DS up and you're not playing it and shit like that, and you can get points just for closing your DS. Like every little feature on the DS,
they give you points for closing the DS.
Yeah, because most games, like for example, like if you're playing a game on an iPhone, you can't close your iPhone. But DS, it's literally a feature. Like your DS.
Watch me.
Like I actually got my fucking my fucking DS. Here's a fucking tutorial. And you can, if I shut my DS like that, right, it's still on. So like they actually make
yeah.
They're like, so
I'm looking for mine.
You're able to you can use
mine is like in a different room. I'm not getting it right now.
So overall, I think that game not only is expert use of the DS, expert game system where they like really put in and really thought about what the game needs to the system, but it also was like a game of my childhood, which when I played it, I really felt like different. I felt like, man, this is the game that only I know about. It felt like my little secret, because not a lot of people, especially in the school that I went to, nobody knew about that game. People knew about Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, but What Ends With You was just kind of like in that bracket, but it was never that big. So that game is very personal to me, to the day where if they ever make a sequel to it, I will flip the fuck out, because that will, I don't think they will, but if they do, it'll be a very, very happy day for me. And to see them in Kingdom Hearts when they were in Dream Drop Distance, the whole reason why I bought a DS is just because they were on Dream Drop Distance, and I thought that was going to mean that they were going to get a sequel. I ended up having a bunch of games I love on the 3DS, but that was a big reason why I bought a 3DS.
The game is called This Ends With You?
Yeah,
The World
Ends With You. Yeah.
The World Ends With You.
Yeah,
Yes.
but like I said, I recommend getting the DS version if you can. If you want to borrow, like after the COVID shit, if you want to borrow the DS, you can do
my experience with The World Ends With You is nothing really, because I didn't play the game, but I'm familiar with it because of Kingdom Hearts, obviously, and I've seen some gameplay out of it. It's really unique. It's definitely a system that I don't think I would be good at, because I have very stiff hands and I'm not very good at it. It's a hard system to play. But talking about, like, this is not like one of the games I'm going to mention, but of terms of games that really work well with consoles, like for the console that they're on, it reminds me of Kid Icarus Uprising, because Kid Icarus Uprising was meant for the 3DS.
But people disagree with that, actually. A lot of people say they hate the reason why they can't play Kid Icarus Uprising is because every time they tried, it would hurt their hands.
That's the thing, though. The way that the game is made is for you to be positioned when you're relaxing and playing the game. The reason why people are saying that is because they're not relaxing and playing the game. They're playing like this, or like somewhere else. It's a game that's meant for use a stylus to move and use the triggers to shoot. That's essentially the entire way to play Kid Icarus Uprising. And it's a game, like the same thing with the MCU. It's a unique system. Not a lot of people will like it. The people who do love it will love it, because I know guys like my friend Jason who loves that game, and then there's other people who hate it.
I love Kid Icarus Uprising, by the way.
It's good.
I love
it's great.
That game.
It's one of the most witty games ever. If you just watch the dialogue for the scenes, and just you'll bust out laughing.
The banter's great. That's a game I definitely That's actually a game I completed. And
if you played Borderlands, if you're familiar with Borderlands, it's the same kind of game.
I've heard of it, but I never played it. But that's going on my list. Because of the,
I'm guessing Zeke played it. It's the same humor as Borderlands, except it's more PG because it's Nintendo. But it's very much a really good laugh. Just watching the gameplay is just a good laugh.
I think one thing I like about that game, just to put that out there, because that was one of the games that were floating in my mind when I was making my choice. And one thing I do like about it is the difficulty slider, because you can put it super hard, like up very, very high, and that shit's super difficult. But if you like want to just get past, like, because sometimes I'd be stuck on a boss, so I put it up like low just to beat the boss, and then after that, after I got through the boss, I put it all the way high again. So and I think that's a good way for people to finish the story, because a lot of times I'll just get stuck on one boss. It's not even like I can't beat the rest of the game. It's just one boss is annoying me, and then after that, I play it so much, I'm just like, fuck this game. I just want to move on to something else. You know what I'm saying? Oops.
Yeah. Zeke, you were gonna say something? Go ahead.
I forgot.
So and last thing I want to say real quick, because I can't, even though that's technically my choice. If I had to look at it in a different way, because that's more of a personal choice, if I had to look at it in a most impactful way, I would have to say Final Fantasy VII. I wouldn't be the Cloud fanboy who wears my Buster Sword every day if I did not fucking say that, because that game is just, I think it's a very special game, and obviously just because of the remake and just how many emotions that people have when the trailer for the remake dropped, everyone, like, literally, there was people on YouTube that were crying. They were literally crying because of this game. And it's because this game really, really, really is a special game in the way that it talks about life and death. And I think that's just a beautiful thing. Like the way that they, I don't want to spoil it because I don't think Zeke ever played it, but just to kind of go, it really does, if you look at the characters and stuff like that and what happens to it, it really does show you, it makes you feel kind of how it feels when you lose somebody through a game. I'm not going to say what character, I'm not going to say if it's a good guy, a bad guy, whatever, but it does make you feel that. And people to this day can't, like, people still want to go back and play that game thinking it's some kind of way to get that character back. Like, people still are attached to that in that way. And not to say it was the only Final Fantasy that did it, because there was other, obviously 6 did it. There's other character deaths in there. But I think that Final Fantasy VII, it made the whole world around it. Like the live stream and stuff like that, that was a whole idea created by Sakaguchi, because that's his whole thing, was that he wanted to make something that was like his mother, because his mother passed away. And he felt like, okay, like his mom, like his mom still exists. Like, even though she's dead, she's still in the world. Like, you know, he could still feel her presence. And that's where the live stream came out of. So Final Fantasy VII, you know, in a way, it's just like a really good, like, look at just kind of like life. The theme of it is life, but it's also death, and because death is a part of life. And it's also, like, you know, it's also kind of just about living to your potential and shit like that. Like, everybody in there has a journey. Every journey in there is different. Cloud's journey is unique. It's different. He is not the typical badass emo hero that people think he is. Like, when you realize who Cloud is, you will be shocked. And that's the whole point of it. A lot of people are just like, oh, Cloud is this. No, that's the point. Like, he is not supposed to be your normal hero. And same thing, all these characters that have their, like, layers and shit that you think you know. You think Tifa is this because she has boxing gloves and she has big titties. Oh, she's like this badass character and shit. But no, like, she's really, at the end of the day, she's I know everyone laughs, but at the end of the day, she's like she's a shy girl, like, at the end of the day, and like she's struggling with her emotions. She doesn't know how to open up her heart. That's why her name is Tifa Lockhart. Like, there's different characters, and like Barrett, who comes out across as like this really loudmouth kind of guy, and this guy that's like really machismo and just wants to fight and shit. But you realize, like, he really cares about his daughter at the end of the day, and that he feels a lot of guilt, and that's the reason why he wants to do it. Like, there's so many depth to these characters, and these characters feel alive, and they feel like friends. So when people see them for this remake, they feel attached. So when, yeah, of course, if they change one strand of Cloud's fucking hair, niggas are gonna go crazy, because they just feel like those are my friends, those are my people. And I like, even though I am more liberal and I can be like, yo, they can do what they want, so remake, and it's not going to be the same shit, I do understand the connection people have with that game, and the fact that they really do feel like out of every game, those that cast of characters is just important to them. So I have to put Final Fantasy VII. It can go either way for me. It's a tie between Final Fantasy VII and the World Ends.
Gotcha. Got you. Okay. Before we continue, though, I gotta say that whole conversation, the first game, The World Ends With You, reminded me of Catherine. I don't know if you guys.
Yes, Catherine.
Catherine's actually coming to the Switch very soon.
Oh, really?
Catherine full body. Yeah. I might pick it up because like my friend was telling me all about it, and I was just like,
it's definitely a game that you have to try out. It's a unique game. It's fun though. It's a good game.
I actually just started playing Katamari Damacy. I'm like, man, this is a weird fucking game.
That was weird.
Like, back in the day, like they used to just make weird shit like that, like Catherine and like you don't get stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, man. No more heroes, man. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, fuck yes!
I have that right in my back, right there. I got.
Me too, man. No More Heroes is a game. No More Heroes is a game, man. That I can't wait for No More Heroes 3, man.
3, yeah.
No More Heroes 3.
They played us with that like Travis Strikes Again shit, but like then they were like, oh, oops, but we're still gonna make 3. So it's like, because everyone got pissed off that they were like that was gonna be the third one. Most people thought, and they were like, oh nope, we're making 3. So no, that's a game. That was a
good game, man. That was my game for real.
Yeah.
The artwork is brilliant too.
Oh, the artwork's fantastic.
Yeah.
Can't imagine. So my game for you guys know it's obvious what's gonna be my last game that I'm gonna talk about.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
For me, in the past 10 years, 2009. So yeah. So in the past few generations of gaming consoles, because it's been a little longer than 10 years, when I think of gaming, I think of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah,
because that is a game that I fell in love with. The same thing Josh said for World's End With You. It was a very obscure game. Nobody knew what the hell it was. Only really I did. And my cousin who I played it on the Wii for, because I didn't have a Wii at the time. So I never finished the game myself at my home because I never had a Wii. I played it at his house here and there. And it's just, I fell in love with it and I finished it. And I never, once I finished the game, I never played it again because it wasn't my Wii. So I didn't, get a chance to think. It wasn't, and I thought it was going to be the last I hear of that game in general. Just, in the back of my mind, those games that you play as a kid where like, oh, I love that game. And then you just don't remember it. For a long time, because I played the game in 2011. For a long time, that was my game where like I just knew about it. I thought about it, but I never brought it up because there was no point in bringing it up. It was so hard to get. When it first released in the States, it was $90.
Yeah.
Because it, for some reason, Monolith Soft didn't sell it in the States. They didn't sell it for the States.
Originally, they didn't. Yeah. Originally, there was like 3 games that they they were not gonna bring to the States, and they actually literally made a petition in order to like pressure Nintendo.
They had to get a petition to get it.
And Nintendo did. Yeah, Nintendo.
That's why it's an all UK voice cast for the game, because it was a UK based game.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with the series after that. And then when X came out, and I had the Wii U, I was really excited because I was like, okay, my Xenoblade, I was getting some attention. And the next thing you know, Shulk is on Smash.
Oh yeah.
And that's when you become that person that loved the series, and then a bunch of new fans come in.
It has to be
what this game is. It's a great feeling being that day oneer, if you want to call it that.
Exactly.
The day oneer that even though it was like 2 years after I played
and one thing I just want to say real quick, because I know you're going to definitely go in, but I just want to say, I think it's very beautiful with Xenoblade that it kind of has become because with me, I'm not the biggest Xenoblade fan, but I plan to be. I plan to actually give the series a real shake. Starting with like Xenoblade 1, I actually played a little bit because I hacked my Wii to play it because a nigga can't afford that shit. So I hacked my Wii to play it, and I played a couple like I got past the first few areas, but I'm planning on eventually getting it for Switch so I could actually complete it and beat it. But my whole thing is though, I really feel like Xenoblade has become one of the most tentpole franchises of all of Nintendo right now, and it really went from, like I said, like it was an obscure game that not a lot of people knew about. And then all of a sudden, like Shulk was in Smash, and then I feel like they really saw like the marketability of this character and this world, and then they made X, and X ended up being one of the better selling games on the Wii U, even though the Wii U was a failure, but it still was sold pretty well. And then Xenoblade 2 came out, and it was just like a big hit. People loved it, and like I feel like now that's one of like I feel Mario is big, I feel Zelda's big, Splatoon's big. Animal Crossing is big, and I think Xenoblade is probably after all those. I think Xenoblade is right up there, which is crazy because there's like long Nintendo has big franchises like Metroid. Like I honestly think that Xenoblade is at this point in Nintendo's mind bigger than Metroid because they put more emphasis on Xenoblade these days. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's pretty crazy to see a series go from literally not even being able to make it out of America and people not really even like wanting to give it that chance, to the fans, like literally the fans demanding it to go there, to now it being such a big hit that it's like one of the 10 poles. So, or the old stuff that people used to like. Oh, and another one is Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem is another one that people did not originally, like in like 2 generations ago, people did not like really fuck with Fire Emblem, and now it's like one of the biggest franchises. So it's crazy how Xenoblade and Fire Emblem, I'm very proud of those franchises because they came a long way. And if you're a real fan, you stay with them from the beginning, even though you may or may not like the changes that they're making, you have to at least respect the fact that, wow, like our series is finally getting its due, and a lot of people are recognizing that it's a great series. But yeah. Anyway, take it away. I had to put that out there because
I couldn't have said it better because that's every way I feel about Xenoblade Chronicles. Just in general, playing Xenoblade 2 when it first came out on Switch, that and Breath of the Wild were the games I was most excited for Switch. Guys know this by now, but because I've waited so long for there to be a true sequel to Xenoblade, because X was good, X was fine, but it wasn't that core Xenoblade experience that you want, because it didn't have the core story and it didn't have that expansive world. It had the world, but it wasn't expansive. There were some elements that they took in and took out that they had to, because X was more of a, you have a silent protagonist and you're gonna be your own character in this world. But I think Xenoblade does its best when it's a story game. It has characters, it has a world, and it focuses on that world, which is what Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 have done. And I just want to go in depth into it one day, because
I would love to. I would love to play it, because it would have your perspective as a new person. I mean, as a OG, like someone who's done it, and me just like getting into the series again. That'd be a good perspective for both ways, because I'm sure there's people who haven't played the game yet that are interested. So yeah, that's definitely on the list.
Actually, Maroof, can you go tell me a little bit about the story, the first one, since
yes, since it's coming out, so. Every character, so how you could tell a good RPG is when every character in your party has their own story fleshed out to it. And that's a lot of my problems with like older Final Fantasy games, and even with Final Fantasy 7, where there's certain characters that don't have a lot of fleshed out story to them. And then I would
argue with that, but I would only say that Yuffie and what's his name? Just Vincent, both of those, because they're optional characters. But I think everybody else gets pretty fleshed out. But
like, I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying like certain aspects where they're not as fleshed out,
Yeah, so, I can hear you. Yeah. But I would also have to play Xenoblade to know like what they did better or what they did differently.
Yeah. I'm not saying that Xenoblade has more like better story than thing. I'm saying that's how you know a good RPG, when they have
facts.
Those characters with their own fleshed out story. 6 had it, 7 had it, 10 to an extent had it, I guess, if you want to count Final Fantasy X. But Xenoblade Chronicles does that for their characters, and even more so just through their system of heart-to-hearts, which is like a heart-to-heart is their mini dialogue within the game, where you can have characters connect, and they pretty much have a relationship map where like you connect with this character, have these two characters connect more often, have this character, and you get rewards for it. So it's in a way, it's kind of like
Fire Emblem a little bit.
It's very much like Fire Emblem and Persona, and other like, I guess, more modern action RPGs, where you just have characters that if you connect to them, you get rewards for, like, unlocking more of the story of the game, right?
I love that kind of system.
Xenoblade Chronicles, the original game, is pretty much, it starts off, I don't want to spoil too much for it, because the remake is coming out, and I would love for you guys to play it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to pick it up, 100%.
It is essentially a revenge story that becomes a more world story, where you start off as this guy, Shulk, who is a scientist, figuring out aspects of his world in these 2 giant titans. The world are the titans. The body of the Mechonis and the Bionis are 2 giant creatures. They were in a war, and they ended up essentially killing each other. I don't want to spoil too much, but like essentially they killed each other, and they lie dormant now. The one world is a world of machines, and another world is a world of, worlds, like, in general, like, what's the word for it? Fauna.
Like
flora, fauna. Yeah, that's the word for it. So you play as Shulk, who is a scientist in this small village in the Bionis, and trying to figure out what the Monado is, which is the sword that Shulk has in Smash. If you play Smash, you know what the Monado is. It's the sword. And essentially, anyone could wield the Monado, but controlling the power of the Monado is another story. Because the power of the Monado is pretty much imbued with a god-like power. In the story of the game, there are foot soldiers from the Mechanists that pretty much attack the Bionists, and I don't want to spoil again, but there's a certain character that gets off, and it becomes a revenge story. Yeah, and so it goes through the regular RPG spiel. You have a party with each character. You meet a character, they join your party. You go on this adventure throughout the world, discovering things. And it's just like it's such a good. I can't give it justice for like explaining because again, there's no script here. I have to write a script for me to give something justice for me explaining it. But it's such a good story of friendship, love, exploration, and just understanding your place in the world.
Wow.
Not everyone is a hero. Not everyone is meant to be a god, but just understanding why things are the way they are. And it subverts your expectations so much. Go ahead, Zeke.
The way you explain the game makes me want to play it. So yeah, I might.
But like, here's my warning to like anyone who's trying to play Xenoblade. It is a battle system that not everyone's gonna like at all. There are certain people that will like it. There's some people not, because it's an RPG, yes, but it's not your standard RPG where you wait around and you press a button and they do an attack. That's not how the gameplay works.
It's more action orientated.
Yes. But it's not even that. It's not even really action oriented. The main thing is that yes, you have certain arts or abilities to use against an enemy, but it's also that you have to position yourself. It's kind of like Final Fantasy 15, where you have to position yourself in the right spot to do an attack, because certain attacks will do more damage. Like, and certain attacks do more damage if you're behind an enemy. Certain attacks do more damage if this effect, like you're staggered, or this effect activates.
So Yakuza 7 has kind of like a similar combat system.
Yes, Yakuza 7 is like actually a good example of that too.
Yeah.
But it's not like as like, I guess, hands off. You have to be hands on with this game. If you're not focused like on the battle on hand,
real time combat, right?
Real time combat, yeah. If you're not focused on battle hand, you are gonna get destroyed fast. Because this game, there's also in case of the enemies you meet in your first world, you're gonna find a level 70 monster. There's no limits when it comes to the enemy levels. You have to know who to fight. You have to know who to run from. You have to know when to fight them, and you have to know when you're ready to fight them.
That's dope, though.
Yes.
That sounds like a game for me. That sounds fun.
And one thing I want to say is, like, it really did open the door for some shit like Breath of the Wild, if we really look at Nintendo and stuff like that, because it's like that's one of those games that are just a big open world. Like, it's a huge world, right? I don't know if it's is it open world? Would you say it's open world, or would you say it's like more linear? How would you say it? But I know it's
I'd say it's linear, but in terms of exploration, each area is very open. Yeah, but it's there's a story to it. But each area is so big that you could get lost and just take your time getting to where you want to go. Exactly. That's for everyone. That's for 1, that's for X, and that's for 2 also. Yeah, those are huge, massive worlds that you can get lost in. And I feel like Nintendo sometimes has a problem with, like, you know, they're innovators in certain ways, but in other times they're kind of like they hold back, and then like, I don't want to necessarily do this trend of open world. But I feel like they kind of even on their first hit of that with like with Xenoblade, even though it was technically not an open world, but their first hit of that, I think they really did a good job. And from there, they kind of went back, and, you know, with Breath of the Wild, they turned into a more traditional, I guess, open world game. And that's the kind of shit that I really feel like Nintendo should be on, like making big journeys.
So my last one's kind of tied. I have an old game and a new game I recently discovered. So I'm gonna go with the old one first. Skyrim. I love Skyrim so much, man. Skyrim was one of my favorites, favorite RPGs.
If you like Skyrim, you'll enjoy the world of Xenoblade. If you like the world of Skyrim, you'll like the world of Xenoblade.
I love Skyrim, dude. I have so many hours in Skyrim. Skyrim was like my first real RPG, because I was always really into shooter games like Modern Warfare and Halo, like I mentioned before. But Skyrim was my first big introduction to RPGs and stuff like that. So. That's one of the main reasons I love Skyrim. You guys played Skyrim?
Yes. Not yet. I played. Sadly, nah. I never finished it, but I played it way back in the day a lot. Like, I think on my 360, I played like 20 hours into it, but I never like actually finished anything with it really.
As soon as if that gets a price drop on the Switch, I'll buy it just like we experience it. But I wonder would you say that game would hold up in 2020 Now that
Of course,
all that shit like Breath
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
Wild has come out and like the new Xenoblades come out and stuff like that, you still think
Absolutely.
like
Absolutely,
Skyrim
yeah.
is still worth
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've replayed that game a bunch, man. I have over 200 hours on it. It's a super fun game, man, with the DLC and everything. Because there's a lot of things you can do. It's kind of like your own adventure. You do whatever you want.
because I know that when Skyrim came out, that was like it broke barriers. Like people were like, "Wow, this is like a huge open world adventure."
Very
I
much.
remember, like it came out after. I think it came out a little bit after GTA 5, right? So then people were like, "Yeah, this is the next step. This is like fucking huge." So I remember at that point, which is probably like 2014 or something, would be like when that happened. But it's like now 6 years later, it's still, you would say it still holds up and I can still play, even though there's been so many open world games since that point. I can still go back to Skyrim and be like, yeah, this is still a great game. Even
it's still $60 for a reason, man.
Yeah.
I'll still buy it to this day.
If a game is expensive, still like the Pokemon games, they're still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Good,
so
man.
yeah, I'm gonna definitely give it its fair shake. I'm gonna give it its fair shake.
My second game that's kind of tied with the last one. We all did 2 games, so fuck it, might as well.
Yeah, fuck it, right?
Is Yakuza, the Yakuza series, man. I've been obsessed with these damn Yakuza games, man. The story is so good. It's so sad.
Put that shit on the Switch, dog. Put that shit on the Switch, man.
I'm still struggling. They haven't put all the games on Xbox yet. I'm about to buy a PlayStation just to finish it.
The only reason it's not on Xbox and Switch so much is because Sega made Yakuza, and Sega is very Sony heavy. They love Sony.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Also because Microsoft doesn't sell well in Japan. So.
No, they do not at all. Yeah, they have really bad sales in Japan. But now, luckily, now that there's Microsoft and Xbox team has new management, they're making some new what's the word? New
developments.
Developments, yeah, in Japan, and they're getting a lot of Japan games here. So the Kiwami games,
they got Kingdom Hearts, man. They got Kingdom Hearts. That's a sign.
I was like, wait, but to this day though, did they get like the collection or no?
They got Kingdom Hearts 3 for free.
They didn't even get the collection though. That's fucked up.
They gave 3 out for free though. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, 3 for free in the Xbox, which is great. I love it.
Oh shit, you played it?
Yep.
Oh shit, we gotta make a redo.
I haven't beat it yet, but I'm playing it slowly. The combat's really weird.
But bro,
and of course, I played on hard.
But my whole thing is, how do you play that shit and not know the story? Like, you don't know anything.
Nah, I mean, fuck it, whatever.
I can imagine not playing any of the Kingdom Hearts games and going right into 3 and being like, what the fuck why is Donald Duck next? Like,
bro,
what?
The intro was so weird because I'm like, wait, am I playing the wrong game? Because it said 2.5 or 2.9 or some shit.
Yeah, like, I can't imagine.
That's a running joke, though. You're not gonna know that unless you play the other games.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I can't imagine somebody playing. That was a bad decision on.
No. I mean, I whatever.
It's a fun. At the end of the day, it's a fun game. It's a fun game.
It, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, go back and play the other one so it'll make sense.
I should,
That shit don't make any sense at all.
Back
to
Yakuza,
make sense to us.
Back to Yakuza though. Before we finish this off, Yakuza has some of the most interesting and most captivating stories in all of gaming. I'll tell you that right now. The characters are very interesting. Every story decision that they make is it's just a great game. I don't know how to explain it. You just gotta play it. The combat is great, man. It's a beautiful game. I recommend it. 10 out of 10.
Right. I've only played Yakuza 0, but I love that game. Even the little I played it, I never finished it. But I love that game. The little I played
so fucking good, man.
But I heard a lot of stuff with Final Fantasy 7 remake, and they're comparing it to Yakuza a lot. They said it's a lot of inspiration for the remake from Yakuza. So I'm like, yo,
the Yakuza series. Are you guys familiar with Shenmue? Back on the Dreamcast.
Oh yes.
Yakuza is very much inspired by Shenmue.
Yo, Shenmue was like one of those games that was ahead of its time.
Yeah. An open world where you could with a story to tell, where there was a lot of stuff to do, not a lot of directive, but you had stuff where you had
ahead of its
different
time.
gameplay.
Wasn't that before GTA? Like GTA, because GTA 3 was really the GTA that,
3 was the first. Yeah, Shenmue was before GTA 3.
Wow. Yeah, like I said, that game was ahead of its time.
Shenmue 2, though, people really roast that game a lot.
Shenmue 3 just came out like 20 years later, and people roast Shenmue 3 because the game it's a very like iconic and game series. Without it, we wouldn't have GTA or anything like that. But the guy who made Shenmue was way in over his head at the time. Way in over his head.
Well, he made 2, right? Because fucking 2,
yeah.
I heard like the mountain scenes or the walking scenes, whatever, take like 3 fucking years. I don't even know, man. It's hilarious.
It doesn't work for these days, man. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
Nah, it doesn't.
sadly. I mean, maybe if they gave it to a different developer, maybe it could work. Because I think the atmosphere and shit of it is cool. Like
but that's the thing though. Yakuza is here kind of as a spiritual successor to Shenmue.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I see what you're saying. It kind of doesn't need to exist anymore. In a way, it's kind of like Mother and Earthbound, kind of to Undertale. It's like you know what I mean. Like it would be cool to have another Mother.
I would have put Mother on. You know how you guys tied everything.
Yeah.
Earthbound / Mother is my tie for Xenoblade.
Oh, yo, have you ever played Mother 3?
Yes, I have. We talked about it. I'm pretty sure we talked about it like a few years ago. Like
we did.
How much I love Mother 3 so much, man.
Yeah, that's a beautiful game.
But I'm gonna leave that for a different podcast. So that's
yeah, for sure, man.
But okay,
but Yakuza is fucking crack, man. I just want to say that one more time, one last time, because look, Kiwami 2 is coming to the Xbox for free, and I'm willing to buy it because it's not on there yet. That's how fucking good it is, man. I'm willing to put down money because it's that.
Please get a PS4, man. I can't wait to add you on that shit.
Dude, I really want. I have the money to buy one now, but I'm waiting for the new consoles.
PS5 is coming out. PS5 is coming out next year, man.
Yeah, I feel like it's honestly buy a PS5. Just a couple months. Not even next year. It's a couple months coming out in
a couple
months. Yeah.
My friends want me to build a PC. They're begging me to build a PC right now. They're like, join the PC Master Race. Come on, man, you fucking noob. We'll teach you the ways. You know, like I'll see.
Like I'm fine with PC gaming. I just don't like the style of PC gaming, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not a big PC guy either.
Like I love mods and shit. Mods are great, but like it's so hardcore that I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm definitely hardcore, so I might do it. It might suit me.
But like, it's not even that, like the fandom of PC gaming is so hardcore. We're like, hey, if you don't have this type of PC and with this frame rate and this thing, you suck. You don't have to.
I feel like it's funny. I feel like we're like the 3 waves. Like I'm like even though I'm a big gamer, like I know a lot about game. I'm more like the casual kind of. Maroof's more like the intermediate, and Zeke's the hardcore gamer. So this actually is
that's why this podcast is gonna work, man.
Exactly. So like I'm like, yo, I can't.
We could bring our friend Kyle in for that dumbassery of that gamer that just gets everything and tries everything.
Bring Kyle in for the fucking jokes and give him more subscribers. But anyway, this was fun. We fucking went through all our games and stuff. And I hope
so much for half an hour, right?
Yeah, holy shit. Did we go like 2 hours?
Yakuza.
We went almost 2 hours, I think.
2 hours, man. Oh man, the editing. Oh man, at least I got all these apps, man. I paid $100 to get this fucking not Logic Pro, this Final Cut Pro. So at least I'm gonna get it to good use. God damn, this is gonna be a bitch editing.
Man, have fun with it. If you want some gameplay, let me know. I'll send you some.
But what was I gonna say? But yeah, this has been a great. This is our first episode. Like I said, it's not perfect, and obviously my editing is not gonna be perfect. Not everything's gonna be perfect right away. But at least we tried our best, and I hope that you fuck with our beautiful personalities, because we're fucking awesome. And if you like this shit, just please subscribe to us, like us, follow us on social media and stuff like that. And we really appreciate it because we're like starting off, but the more we do it, the better we're gonna get.
Of course.
Yeah. Real quick before we leave, let's talk about like where people can follow us, what we're doing in general in life. We'll start with Zeke because we'll go.
We'll go back. We'll go the other way around.
Zeke, talk about your band shit. Go ahead.
If you guys like punk music, follow my band All in Due Time. We make if you like Blink-182, Green Day, anything like that, at All in Due Time Band, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You know where to find us. Good shit. I'll see you there.
What's up?
If you like written stories, you usually based in as period pieces. You follow my Wattpad, Mad Samurai, and I used to be on DeviantArt, but I kind of killed that channel. I don't touch it really anymore. My stories are still there though, so if you want to read it, go read them. And follow me on Twitter at the Mad Samurai. I talk about games, wrestling, and in general everything. So, Josh,
that's what's up. If you like sex, follow my OnlyFans. I'm trying to get my fucking guap up, you know what I mean? It's quarantine. I'm fucking unemployed and shit. But nah, I'm dropping a fucking project EP. It's called After Quarantine We Gonna Fuck. It's gonna be a couple songs, but it's just gonna give you like a palette of stuff. I rap, I sing a little bit, I just talk about real nigga shit. And you can follow me on @Nershagandhi. I'm changing my name pretty soon. And yeah, just vibe. Just vibe with me. I got a lot of good shit, like crazy shit, nigga. Summer is fucking mine, bitch. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I'm competitive with the music shit. I might be watering fucking flowers in Animal Crossing, but nigga, I'm a beast, nigga. See me on the bro.
Yo, one more thing, man. I just very important. Very important. I need people to buy Yakuza. All right?
Yeah, yo, buy Yakuza.
Please.
Buy Animal Crossing, but you probably already bought it.
Yep. Buy Xenoblade.
Buy Yakuza.
Buy Xenoblade. It's coming out in a few days.
Buy Final Fantasy remakes in 30 years when it's all complete. And we'll see you next time. We'll
Yep.
We'll have next time we'll have a topic. We'll like try and write some shit down, make it a little bit more organized. But this has been fun. So like, peace out, man. Peace out, people. We love you. We appreciate your support. And all you gotta do, like I said, is just hit that subscribe button, hit the little fucking bell and shit. Like niggas say, hit that bell because you're gonna get that fucking info, nigga. That's it.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull up to your crib with a bat, son.
Yeah,
copy you.
You say for real. If you don't subscribe, you're gonna have to like in words of one of my close friends. If you don't subscribe to us, you're gonna have to die. And I don't want you to die. Like it's not on me to kill you. I'm not a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is joy.
I'm a pacifist, so I'm just gonna be disappointed in you. And people
he'll be disappointed. He'll watch us beat your ass.
He'll shake his head when we beat your ass. Don't do it, man. It's not worth it.
Yeah, for real. Like I might be Kevin Hart height, but I will aim for those nuts, bro. I will aim for those nuts, and Zeke will do the rest. So anyway, I suggest you
Zeke's gonna teabag the person.
Yeah, for real.